sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Ysn Power Hour. There you see it. We have the Boardman girls AAC champion, Boardman Lady Spartans track team. Some of the individuals from it. We'll meet them in just a little bit, and we'll get a little bit of insight to them. But first, we have some business to tend to. It is a Thursday Power Hour, and it is brought to you by our friends over at Youngstown State University. They are and proud, so can you. Head over to ysu.edu for more information there. It is time to get to our we have to very quickly get to this because we got so many people, so many Spartans to talk to. It's on this day in sports history. Here we go. On this day in sports history, in 1979, Chris Evert's 125-match winning streak on clay comes to an end. 125 straight matches comes to an end. Unbelievable. You talk about streak. It's a perfect segue into this interview here today with the Boardman Lady Spartans, and of course they are led by Mr. Rick Seipert. Coach, what is going on other than you guys at the top of the rankings seemingly each and every year this time?
I don't know, man. We're very fortunate here at Boardman. We really developed a solid culture here to just get everybody working together. Every day I tell the girls to compete with each other. It doesn't matter if you're at the top of the roster or the bottom of the roster. Just do everything you can to make whoever's in front of you better. And if you're at the top, just keep working hard to stay on top. We're fortunate enough to be in a very good conference with Austintown and Howland, Warren Harding, and Canfield. I know all four of those staffs pretty well. They're all very good coaches, very good people, and their kids are always ready to compete. So we got to do everything we can to make sure we're able to get them year after year here.
Naturally, you guys are loaded. Look at this talented roster you just have on the show today, and you've got more loaded in the chamber across the board for the Spartans. But I have to ask you this, Coach. You end up walking away with and winning it with finishing 25 points ahead of Austintown pitch. But leading up to this race, I heard you had many sleepless nights going over more scenarios than Dr. Strange in the end game. Talk to me about that.
I'll tell you what. Mile split's a wonderful thing, and you're able to run virtual meets. I scored it out several times, and I'll be very honest. I had us losing by 2 going into the meet. So as the meet went on, the excitement was building. I could see it in the team, the parents, the fans there. I mean, it was a really cool scene to see everybody growing and getting on each other's backs, getting excited for all the events coming through. And then like it was tight getting up to, I think Gia's 300 there. She crossed there in second, which was a big ad. And then Kenzie and Dez went off in the 200. They went 1-2. Lauren Barrow won the 2 mile. And then our high jumpers, we ended up going 1-2-3. Even though at the conference we compete 3 athletes, only 2 can score, but we went 1-2-1, 1-2-2 to finish the meet out to give us that big 25-point win there.
All right, so as the meet was unraveling like a ball of yarn, it seemed like every Spartan was PRing in every event. What was going on in your mind through all of that?
Well, we train every day, no matter what, whether it's 30 degrees, 20 degrees, snowing, raining. We're outside no matter what. You just got to build that toughness up. We've had one meet, I think it was county, that was nice, like Tuesday night was, and every other night was just miserable track meets with cold, rain, snow. We were in Euclid Friday night. By the end of the meet, we were all wet and it was 40 degrees, but we still competed hard there and turned in some good times. I was kind of hoping that the turn of the weather would kind of light the girls, like light a fire under the girls and get them moving. And I mean, we started the meet with a nice time in the 4x8, one of the better times with that crew that was out there. Again, Gia PR'd in the 100 hurdles. And then Des came back with a season and a career PR in the 100-meter dash there just to start the meet off. So, I mean, we just got things cooking the right way as soon as the meet got going there.
So this being your 5th straight AAC championship for the girls, what makes this championship any different than the rest of them?
I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect coming into the season. We travel 3 seniors and I think 3 juniors, and the rest of this team is freshmen and sophomores. And freshmen and sophomores are wild cards every year. You never know what you're going to get. They're young. They're kind of like not really expect what to see with some of these big meets here. But I'll tell you what, man, they showed up. They showed up big too. I mean, we got a very special group here. Gabby Vanetti here. She went 1-2, or she went second in both the 16 and the 800 there. So big day out of our freshman distance girl there.
I love it. Let's get to the senior. Where's Maddie at? Let me see if I can find her. There she is. All right, Maddie, the lone senior here, representative on YSN right now, with top throws of 107 feet in the discus and 30 feet 6 inches in the shot put this season. Tell me what it's like competing week in and week out over your high school career, given that this is going to be your last track season.
It is a little bit bittersweet. I've been having a lot of fun with everybody and just enjoying like every last moment of it. Traveling to all the meets is definitely my favorite part of everything once we get going, and going to the faraway meets and getting to hang out with everybody all day long and compete against some teams that we wouldn't usually compete against, and some big competition and everything.
All right, the last question I have for you. What legacy with these underclassmen, these talented underclassmen, do you want to leave behind that they remember you for?
I just hope that they remember that even if I couldn't always push through and get us my win on my end, that they always push through and know that I'm always cheering them on no matter what.
I love it. Thank you very much. Congratulations on all your success. Clean sweep across the board for you, Maddie. Where's Gabby at? Gabby, just a freshman, 233 in the 800 and 532 in the mile, securing her 2 second-place finishes in the conference meet. You've had some success in cross country, and clearly it is carried over into the track. Being just a freshman, what's your mindset coming into the conference championships?
Well, I like the experience with all the competition. Everyone's so good and nice on the team. It's just fun to be around them. And it was just a great race yesterday. Everyone was pushing each other and just staying in that one pack. And I just went with them. Yeah.
What are some of the things that the upperclassmen have taught you throughout the season?
They've taught me that you probably won't PR by that much, because in middle school you kind of jump all around, and now there's like better competition, so you're going to run your races smarter and just have all your heart, never give up, and just keep pushing through every race.
Do you feel like you're poised to exceed any expectations in next week's districts?
I'm not sure. I'm hoping I'll do good, but I guess I'll just take it as it comes.
And there's no bad to that, right? Just be able to take it as it comes. Looks like you've done all right so far. Thank you so much, Gabby. Appreciate you. Gia, where's Gia? I see you, Gia. How can we miss Gia? Gia Treveri, a junior, scoring all 4 open events on Tuesday, near the top of the region in the 300 hurdles. I know you faced some adversity and injury early on this season, but it seems like you've cleared all those hurdles. No pun intended. Well, actually, there are pun intended on that one. It feels like you're making a poise to make a big-time comeback. Talk to me about that story and what's driving you right now.
Yeah, so I have noticed, like, last year I did go to state, but, like, competition was this year competition's a lot better, and I know that, like, I need to work extra. Like, I need to work, like, out of practice, like, you know what I mean? Like, I need to put in the work if I want to be, like, the best.
Tell me about how you were able to kind of quiet your mind, focus up a little bit, showcase your talent on the track, and how confident are you of the work that you put in will lead you back to state?
I am getting a lot better. I think I'm a lot more confident than I was at the beginning of the season. The injury really set me back a little bit, but I did realize I can't let that affect me. I need to you need to run you need to forget about everything when you're racing, or else it really does get in your head. And I'm just trying to be positive because I know I could do it. I've done it before. So I've just been training really hard, focusing on my main goal, which is making it to state.
All right. And the last one, this is coming from me. Who's the best athlete in your family?
Definitely me.
I love it, Chia. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Let's get over to someone I believe it's pronounced Mackenzie Riccatelli, I believe. Ken's just a sophomore, currently undefeated in the 400 this year. Talk to me about what's been going through your mind as you continue to shine a light on Boardman and yourself in these races.
Well, I definitely wasn't expecting this fast in the season to be doing as good as I am, because I have a tendency to overthink things and have a mental block. But I think the biggest thing this season is how I'm not really thinking too much and just going and running the race and trying to do the best for myself and for my team.
All right, you had some big shoes to fill this year. Talk to me about how you filled them up this year.
I mean, every day I'm just trying to get better to be as good as the seniors last year, like Emma Tokarski. I'm trying to step it up and be a good role model and run just as good and even better as she did.
Does your dad give you any tips for running? I mean, I know he was some kind of ridiculous runner, and it runs in your family. Do you get any tips from your old man?
I mean, I guess he was an okay runner, but just the thing about the mental aspect of running, just not thinking too much, because if I think too much, then I'll think that I'm hurting and I'll think that I can't run any faster. But just blocking all of that out and chasing any girl that's in front of me and trying to beat them at the end, finishing strong. That's just what he says. Finish strong and run as fast as you can, as hard as you can, for as long as you can.
It sounds crazy to ask this, but how has cross country and basketball helped you be a better track athlete?
Just keeps me in shape, gives me the ability to be able to run for cross country, running the farther amounts, make it easier to run these sprints in track, and then the up and down of the basketball court at that fast pace. It definitely does help for track.
All right, Kens, thank you very much. Appreciate you. And last but not least, Reagan Smith, a junior, first in the high jump, as the Lady Spartans actually went 1, 2, 3 in the event. High jump is one of these events where there's so many factors that come into play. We all know in Northeast Ohio, Mother Nature can play a cruel and nasty joke on us all. But Tuesday night, you took the night off, allowing you to showcase everyone what you are capable of doing and accomplishing. Reagan, walk me through kind of the success that you've had here at Boardman and obviously being an AAC champion once again. Uh-oh. Can anybody else hear? I can't hear.
Turn your mic on.
Might have to swap phones here. This ought to be fun.
Yeah.
They're all about 6 feet away from each other, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. They're jumping from me.
Here we go.
Okay.
It's okay.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
I'll take this. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, Reagan.
All right. So pretty much it's been a good vibe this year. I've had pretty good meets every single time. The meet before was kind of rough. I got mentally in my head, but I came back and pushed through and won.
What's your mental approach as you've battled all year to get the top of the leaderboard, and on Tuesday night you did just that? What's your mental approach, and how much goes into doing these events that you kind of led up to?
I kind of have to just forget about what I'm doing and attack it as it is, and every height is something different. And if I miss it once, I just have to forget about it and go on to the next jump.
is there a bucket list that you have here in your junior year that you want to check off as you continue through the season? How much have you done already, and what's left on it?
Well, I got 410, which was good for me because that was the lettering mark. And then next up is 5 foot. And then we'll see where we can go from there.
Can we put a thing together where you jump over me as like live? Because I'm only 5'5", so you're not far from it. So you're getting there. So we'll put something together. Maybe you can, if you jump over me, we'll give you a YSN hoodie or something like that. Is that fair?
All right. Okay, we'll try to get there.
Ladies, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be able to have you here on the show. And obviously, very good teammates to each other, always cheering for each other. Matter of fact, before we go, if you have, who do you cheer loudest for? Each of you, is there one event that you're not in that you cheer loudest for? Reagan, we'll start with you since you're still hooked up.
The 4x4.
The 4x4. All right, Maddie,
Yeah.
How about you?
It's the same, the 4x4.
Gabby.
Mine's like the 4x8.
Okay. Gia.
Definitely the 4x4.
And Ken's.
Probably the 4x8 since I can't cheer for the 4x4 because I'm running in it.
I love it. We're cheering for each and every one of you. Best of luck as the season continues. Hopefully you bring home the hardware. And if you do, state champions, we'll have you back on the show. Is that fair?
Yeah. Sounds
All
good.
right, ladies. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day. Get at it at practice and tell Coach we appreciate his time as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There they go. The Boardman All-American Conference champions. What a great lead up into this and success. Success breeds success, ladies and gentlemen. We're so fortunate to cover all these student athletes across the board, 55 schools now and rolling. The organization side, the youth sports, is coming into effect in the next month or so with Little League, with Boardman Community Baseball, with, of course, Ysn Park, what we do there, and so much more. So we couldn't be more excited. And a lot of these young athletes that have turned into student athletes have been covered prior to being, part of the varsity teams and trying to win state championships and things of that nature. So we're excited to have them. A big thank you and a tip of the cap, as always, to Donnie Riccatelli for hooking us up and kind of planning these things out. Pardon me. There's Kara. I did the entire interview without coughing. So now I need a drink. So, Kara, thank you so much. Great girl, great coach. Absolutely. Could not agree with that anymore. Cheering for each other. I mean, you heard in that interview, a lot of that stuff is just very straightforward. And, what do you do mentally to prepare yourself? And how do you say that? The athletes will never be rigid. They'll never be able to, one does not work for the next, which works for the next, which works for the next. They're very liquid in the fact that they've got to be able to even from game to game, match to match, meet to meet. Sometimes they have to change their mindset. If it worked last time, they'll try it again. If it didn't work, they'll try to adjust it. It's very much like pieces and parts on a car. If one part's not working, the other parts aren't going to work right either. So the mental aspect of it, that's why I love that question to Reagan, is how do you mentally prepare yourself to get up and go for some of these jumps? And the high jump is a challenge because it's literally a bar and it's you against you. Nobody else is there. They have their other scores, their other heights that they've already accomplished. But for Reagan Smith to have to go up against that bar by herself, mentally focus, prepare, and understand the climate, where she's at, how she's feeling on a mental, physical, emotional status. I give track and field athletes so much credit, because a lot of times it's them versus them. I've seen meets where, runners it's just one runner in a lane and they've got to run by themselves against their own time. Can you imagine? That's got to be challenging because, if you're in a race, you look to the left lane, the right lane, you can see kind of where you're at. You win that heat and you're in good shape. If you're running by yourself, if you're jumping by yourself, you just never know. And I think a lot of people would say that might be easier because all you got to focus is on yourself. But I think a lot of us, and it depends on who you are. Again, what kind of athlete you are, what kind of competitor you are. A lot of us need somebody else pushing us. We need that pace car, so to speak, to be able to guide us. And, for me, it took me a long time to be in competition with myself because I was so worried about what everybody else was doing and living up to their standard that I forgot what it was like to create my own. And I think we get caught up in that. We get caught up in these track athletes. They're phenomenal athletes, but I think they get caught up in what everybody else is doing and not giving their best, their all. If somebody's bench pressing 200 pounds, they're going to bench press 200 pounds. They're not going to go with what they're doing. And it's, to me, that's why it's so impressive when you see all these PRs and some career personal bests, especially last week. The weather breaks and all of a sudden Boardman's just crushing records left and right, both personal, career, meet records, things of that nature. So kudos to them. I know they continue to push themselves further and further and further along as we just thankful to have all those young ladies on the show. I know it's always a challenge, especially this time of day when they're trying to prepare because they have their own stuff to do. They got to they're getting out of school. It's finals week. They're trying to be good stewards of their own time and things of that nature. But we got a great interview out of that. So thank you to Rick. Thank you to Maddie, to Gabby, to Gia, to Mackenzie, and to Reagan for stopping by the show. It's certainly always great to have them around. Some of them, especially the young Riccatelli. And she's not the baby Riccatelli at all, but it's funny to see because Donnie's become such a great friend and a brother and a big part of what we're doing at YSN. And he cares more about these kids and not just kids in Boardman, specifically Boardman, yes, but kids all around that he wants to make sure that they're getting highlighted as much as everybody else in the entire country. And where else are you going to see 5 track and field stars right here, fresh off a championship on a network and talking about their success? Nowhere that I know of. And that's a shame. It should be everywhere. More to come. Sparty Party today on the YSN Power Hour, as we will have coming up in a little bit, in a couple minutes, as a matter of fact. We'll take a break and we'll come back and we should have the Boardman baseball team, which if you didn't see yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, they're champions as well. Took a share of the championship with a 1-0 win over Austintown Fitch. Exciting game to call. It wasn't the most offensive driven game, but certainly if you liked pitching and good pitching at that, you had Widrig and Knight going head to head, toe to toe on the rubber. And the only thing that separated them was a wild pitch that scored Caleb Satterfield, I believe in the 4th inning. And that was the difference. That was it. That was all the offense that those two teams could muster. So we'll talk to the Boardman baseball team when we come back on the YSN Power Hour. Hopefully they'll be around. If not, we'll talk more sports here on the network back after this, after a word from our great sponsors and new commercials here on YSN.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
All right, welcome back to the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. And just as I told you yesterday, Boardman clinching a share at least of the AAC Championship on the baseball diamond on their home grounds. We welcome in the head ball coach of the Boardman Spartans himself, Mr. Joe Gabriel. What's up, Gabes?
How's it going there, DJ? Good. How's it going?
It's going great, man. Probably not better than you. A share of the title, and obviously a lot of chips can fall tonight. You guys play Poland, which is going to be a nice little warm-up for you as you prepare for Hudson in the opening round. But you got to have your eye and ear on what's going on over in Fitch tonight where they take on Howland.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have our eyes on the Howland-Fitch game. Obviously, we need Howland to beat Fitch to kind of, have the conference on our own. But, both good teams. And we got our hands full tonight with Poland, too. So, we have a lot of work to do.
Coach, when at the beginning of the season, there's a ton of doubters, obviously, of what this Boardman team could do. Eyes were on Canfield, eyes were on Fitch, and they kind of overlooked what the Spartans had in their roster. You and I talked, you guys are just as loaded as anybody in the state. It's just a matter of kind of putting everything together, overcoming injuries and a little bit of adversity down in Myrtle Beach. Talk to me about how this team has kind of kept the AAC championship in their sights and much, much more.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the year, I think a lot of us, a lot of the guys felt a little slighted, and that was good. It was good for us. It was good for our guys. And, we know how good the conference is. Those teams are really good. Canfield, Fitch, like they're really good squads. But we also felt like we were really good. And, we have 11 seniors. They are all, they all contribute in some way. And they've had, they've gotten us through some tough times here. Getting through adversity and through some injuries.
When you're looking at 11 seniors, you're looking at guys that have been there before at some point during their career. You obviously have a long historic career with a lot of success with stickball. What kind of, I don't know, at this point, what kind of advice can you give these guys to help them get over a hump that they're in?
Well, I mean, the one thing we kept saying was we just have to keep trying to play. We have to play through it. I think it's easy to sit here and second guess yourself and think about 900 other things that you should do during practice. But at the end of the day, we feel like we have plenty of talent. We just needed to play through, what we were going through. And these guys have done that so far.
One of my favorite things about this time of year is obviously the baseball and softball tournaments. I think the best tournament in all of the OHSAA. When you think about the inches that separate the winners and losers, first and second place, first place and 10th place, it's literally a matter of inches. We've seen that with teams like South Range. We've seen it with Warren JFK, and you guys have an opportunity to really catch everybody by surprise. You've got a great pitching staff. You got guys that can stick it from 1 through 9. What is it that gives you the confidence to go up against these teams and say, hey, why not us?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a lot of depth on the mound, and in Division I, it's really hard. So that depth really comes into play, as you start this tournament, because when you start going back-to-back games on a Tuesday, Thursday, you're going to need that depth to get through some really good teams. I mean, we could run into Fitch again, obviously, if we beat Hudson, and Hudson will be good. And, you're moving forward even, you go deeper in the tournament, you're looking at Lake Hoover, all those Federal League teams. It's a gauntlet in Division I.
In a game like you're facing tonight against Poland, obviously a local rival, but someone where you're probably looking for something more than just a W in this game. You're looking to get innings out of guys, maybe serve as bullpens, things of that nature, and they're doing the same. What are you looking to tonight specifically to say, hey, we need to make sure we're doing X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, I think we're trying to clean things up on the defensive end, and I think we're obviously trying to get at bats. We want to start swinging the bat a little better than we have. We feel like we can. And, in terms of pitching, I think, like you said, we're looking at just getting some guys, an inning here, inning there, and keep it moving.
So from a standpoint of the weather, that has been the story of the season this year. Have you ever seen a season that has been so maybe we'll play, maybe we won't throughout the year? And how has this changed what you've tried to tell your players in the dugout, in the locker room, in the gym when you guys are practicing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's the same for most guys, like most of the guys around here. You just try and keep guys up and try and keep things fresh. It's not easy to do, obviously. When you're inside a gym, it gets a little boring. And so you just try and keep guys fresh and keep them going, try and keep their spirits up. You go to Myrtle Beach. We did that. We played a lot of games in a row, come back, bad weather, then we finally got a nice string of weather here over this past week.
And I don't think we've ever talked about this part is you look at some of the championships that the younger ages are winning and the foundation of this Boardman Baseball, and it starts with BCB and it climbs its way up. The excitement around Boardman Baseball really over the next few years should be phenomenal. You've got the 11Us that won the state championship a few years ago, the 12Us that were the year before them. You've got some talent growing up the charts. Are you going to be able to handle all those guys under one roof, so to speak?
Oh, I think so. Anytime you have that much talent coming through, I think as a coach, you're more than you welcome it. And the competition helps as well. So, yeah, I mean, they do a great job down at BCB, and they've had a lot of success, and we'll definitely work hard to continue that success up through high school.
All right, last question I have for you is superstitions, man. We know baseball is a superstitious sport. What superstition do you have, Coach Gabes, that maybe nobody knows about and you're willing to give up for us today?
You mean this year or just like throughout
whatever you want to give, man. If maybe there's something different this year, but you might have some weird ones out there as well.
Yeah, I mean, when I played, I would always when I pitched, I would always come back into the dugout and I have to sit in that same exact spot if things were going well all the time. The glove was on the right side of me. And so, yeah, it's a little different.
Was there anything this year in particular that you caught yourself?
Yeah, like I would say over the last week, I've worn the same pool with the same cage jacket since we've been winning, since the last few wins.
I love it. As long as you keep changing the underwear, we're all good, man. So, yeah. Coach Gabes, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to interviewing your players here in a few minutes.
Thank you, DJ. I really appreciate your time.
You got it, man. There he goes. Joe Gabriel, one of the best to do it. And he has shocked the world, so to speak, with the team this year. And nobody happier than him to be doing it. We appreciate his time today as the Sparty Party continues. I'll be looking forward to the interviews. Hopefully these guys hop on here. I know they're up against the clock with the stuff that they're doing right now. They're getting ready for that pulling game. So they're going to be in the cages. They're going to be doing actually, we're just doing a handoff. We're doing a handoff, it looks like. All right, let's get who do we got here? Let's see who we got ringing on the doorbell. Who do we got?
It's Jason Treveri.
JT Money. We just interviewed your sister, man. Talk to me about. She said she's the best athlete in the family. Is that true or false?
That's false.
Who's the best athlete in the family?
Well, I think it would be me.
I love it. I love it. Jace, obviously you're going to be heading to out the door in YSU to give them an instant jolt next year. But before you do that, what's on your bucket list the rest of the way for the 2022 season?
Right now it's just winning or making a run in the tournament.
Okay, and what do you want to do in the tournament specifically? Obviously, you want a state championship, but what kind of things do you want to do and I know you're not a personal PR guy, like you're a team guy, but what kind of things do you think you can do to help this team win a state championship?
I think I just need to keep getting on base and just keep scoring and playing good defense and doing whatever I need to help the team, whether that's pitching or playing first base or bunting, for instance.
Well, it's crazy to see you bunt. I'm going to be honest, because when you come out there and you look like like Captain America. It's hard to imagine you putting one down, but you do it to help the team. Why is the team aspect so important to you?
Well, it means a lot to me to play for Boardman because that's my home, and I don't know, it's just something special to me.
Now, obviously, you've had a lot of success. I mean, you were part of that Youngstown team that went to the World Series in Texas last year, right? It feels like it was
Yes.
forever ago. To represent to wear the Y, obviously, with you going to YSU and everything. What does it mean to put on that Spartan uniform for presumably just a few more times, right? No matter if you win the state championship or you guys come up short, you've only got a handful of times left to wear that Sparta uniform. What does it mean to you to wear the maroon and white?
It means everything to me. I mean, I look forward to coming out and playing every single day, every time we have a game. I just can't wait.
As a leader of this team, expectations. It starts way before the season begins. As a senior leader, what were some of the kind of the lines that were drawn in the sand, so to speak, for you guys, the leaders, and to the underclassmen?
Just hustling on and off the field, just doing your job. That's a big thing, and just playing to win. That's what I've tried to instill in the younger guys, just to keep that going.
Now, you guys are playing with a chip on your shoulder. There's a certain level of disrespect that you feel, not just from the teams that you play, but the media for not covering you. And I love that. I respect that. Whatever gets the old furnace started. Talk to me about, is it you guys? Is it Boardman versus the world at this point?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we see a bunch of teams and guys from other teams getting all this media and stuff, and we have some really good players on this team don't get as much attention, and we kind of take that personal.
When you were looking around last night, and obviously you had to, there was no cameras around other than YSN. Did that surprise you in a championship setting?
Honestly, I really didn't notice anything. Like, I was just focused on winning.
And winning you did, my friend. Winning you did. Jason Treveri, one last question before we let you go. You're staying local. You're staying home. How excited are you to be able to have the fans watch you from home and all around, to be able to wear that Y and fly the Y, so to speak, for you, and to again represent your hometown?
I'm so excited. I mean, it's something I think about every single day. I love Youngstown, and I'm very blessed and happy to be able to represent it next year.
We love the Treveris, man. We're happy you're staying close to home. We wish the best for you, no matter what that is. And obviously, we'll be watching the entire way. Jason Treveri, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to talking to you again soon, my friend.
Thank you.
You got it. They're going to hand the phone away again. We're going to play a little hot potato with the phone. Who are we going to get now? Who we got? Griff.
Yeah.
He's back. What's going on, Griff? What's changed between yesterday and today? Anything?
I'm wearing the wrong jersey.
You're wearing the wrong jersey?
I'm wearing the wrong jersey.
All right, let's go through how that happens. So, when do you guys get the jersey assignments? Who picks the jersey, and how did you end up with the wrong one?
It's actually ironic because they were going through yesterday and asking like what jerseys we want to wear. We have these old ones that are pretty heavy, and we knew it was going to be hot out. We were all deciding and stuff, and then I gave the idea of wearing the maroon dry fit, and I just completely forgot to put it on today. So,
so you're the only guy without the maroon dry fit? Who's
no,
bringing it?
there is another guy. There is another guy, but
are we going to sell him out? So. Are we selling him out tonight? It's you and who?
Jack Gordon.
So how do you get this jersey? Is somebody going to let you borrow theirs?
Yeah, no, I think my dad's coming. So
there we go. All right. So obviously yesterday we talked. Your interview's up on YSN. You win you're literally, you're nicknamed the crime dog. You have been for 5 years or whatever since the first time we interviewed you and watched you play. You took yesterday personal, going out there and winning at least a share of the conference championship. What was it about yesterday that you said, hey, listen, you guys just give me one run and that's all we're going to need?
I mean, like I said yesterday in the interview, I mean, I was just extremely excited. I mean, we heard Fitch beat Canfield, so we knew they were on a run, and we just came extra prepared. And like I said earlier in the year too, they beat us, so we wanted to get a shot back at them, and then maybe we'll see them in the playoffs this year too. So I mean, it's always great playing them, though. They always compete. So
You've been playing these guys for a long time. I mean, all of you really seemingly have been playing each other for a very long time. They know you, you know them. What kind of challenges does that present when they know all the pitches you have and it's just you against them, your best against their best? What is going through your head, and what challenges does it present to you as you start maybe second guessing yourself later in that game when they get 1 or 2 hits in a row?
I mean, you just have to trust yourself because, like you said, I mean, we all know them. I mean, it's good to go down the order and understand everybody's, tendencies and stuff. But, I mean, you just have to work through it and, just play through it. You know what I mean?
All right, so you've been around this game a very long time. You've played a lot of baseball, but you started somewhere, man. Talk to these little kids that are starting maybe in T-ball or their coach pitch for the first time. What advice would you give to them at this point in their young careers to end up like a Griffin Widrick someday?
Personally, as when I was younger, I 12-year-old year, I was pretty good, and then I was on the Astros 14-year-old team, and I didn't really play that much, but I kind of took it to heart. So, my freshman year, we had a shortstop that was a senior. He's at Teal College, and I really put in work, but at the same time, I would definitely tell the younger kids, you have to have fun doing it. You can't just go out there and just not want to do it. You have to have fun and enjoy the process.
Some of these relationships that you have right now, my friend, they always say, and I can attest to this, that some of these guys that are around you in the dugout are going to be the best man and some of the groomsmen in your wedding. Talk to me about these relationships that you have with these Spartans and the brotherhood that you've connected with them that'll probably never, ever go away.
Yeah, I mean, in 6th grade, they made a change to the schools where they would there used to be 2 middle schools, so then Center went over to Glenwood. But I mean, I'm super thankful for that because then I started get to know everybody from Glenwood, and ever since 7th grade, we just built a bond, and ever since freshman year too. I mean, we had a great team and a great run, and I mean, especially these seniors, we just built great friendships, and I think that's what's made us a really good team.
Who would be the best man in your wedding right now if you were getting hitched?
I'd probably go Seth Cervello. I'd probably go Seth.
Well, you got to go. You're a great pitcher. You got to go catcher, right? That's how that works.
Yeah.
It's a great battery. I asked Jason this. I'm interested to hear your answer too. When you put that the right Spartan uniform on, what does that mean to you to be able to represent Sparty?
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, my dad, he coaches the 14-year Astro team, and he has a couple of Boardman kids on there, and they talk about me sometimes on there, and it's just great because you got to be a good influence to the kids. I mean, you always got to say hi to them if you see them. I mean, it makes a big difference. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, and a kid would from the high school team would say hi to me, or just watching them play and just play the game the right way. It's just you just got to make an impact the right way on the younger kids for sure.
Who was that for you when you were growing up? Who showed you how to play the game the right way?
Honestly, my brother, and I'd probably say Louis Cardona. He was a catcher, and they were a really good duo. But I mean, Louis, he always played the right way, and my brother was on the mound. He was always giving 110%. So,
what one piece of advice? This is the last question for you before you can hand off and play hot potato. What one piece of advice would you give the underclassmen and those kids that won the 11U championship, a couple years ago for Boardman, and the ones that went down to Columbus, to New Albany, that are coming up the ranks? What piece of advice would you give to them as you kind of leave your mark here in Sparta?
Just to enjoy every moment and don't take anything for granted. You never know when your last game could be. So, I mean, you just got to play hard and trust the process, and these coaches will help you do that. I mean, all the practices we put in the off season, you just got to really get to work and build friendships too, I would say. I mean, you can't have a team full of guys you don't want to, be with. You got to enjoy the team, and that's what really makes you a good team.
Griff, we're proud of you. We're excited for you, and best of luck not only tonight but in the playoffs. Who we hot potato to in now?
We'll go Guy Young.
Let's go Guy Young. All right. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Griff. Griffin Widrig, ladies and gentlemen, all the way to Guy Young, my dude, my guy. First off, I got to ask you, how we feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm very proud of our group and happy about what's transpired so far.
All right, man. You were the injury down in Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
Talk to me about what happened and kind of where you're at in the rehab process.
So Coach Gabe's put me in to play first base defensively for just an inning, and me and Jason ended up colliding on a pop-up. I was able to come down with it, and we ended up winning the game, but I fractured my rib and punctured my lung, so that was rough coming back. But got the chest tube into me, and it got my lung back up because it ended up collapsing. I got cleared last Tuesday, and every day I've just been getting better, feeling better.
How scary was that, dude? I mean,
it was rough. I mean, I couldn't catch my breath at first, so that was the most scary part. Like, once the adrenaline wore off, I still couldn't breathe right, and that's when I knew something was like really wrong. So.
And you're how old?
18.
So you're 18 years old, and we've all had the wind knocked out of us, but I bet that felt a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like the wind just got knocked out of me, but like it never came back was the thing, and that's what really made me worried. I mean, I could tell it was a little bit worse. Like my ribs felt a little bit. I mean, they felt like off. I definitely didn't feel right, but I'd never expect to be that bad.
All right, this team is basically, Guy, gone the same way you have. They've battled through adversity. They're trying to make their way back. You guys win a conference championship, or at least a share of it yesterday. Talk to me about the pride in this team and the pride of your comeback, and you're looking to help this team and really give them a shot in the arm down the stretch.
Yes, I mean, we took pride in this. I mean, this was our goal. It's always a goal coming into the season. I mean, we've been talking about it since freshman year, some of us being up, and that's something we've always wanted to do, winning the conference. I mean, the AAC, it's one of the toughest conferences around, I feel like. I mean, Canfield, Fitch, both very talented. Allen, very talented, and even Warren will give you a good fight. So all five of us, I feel, I mean, we all put together good seasons, and I mean, it's really proud for me and all of us to be able to pull it off. And then being able to come back and pitch, I'm very excited. I can't wait. I've been itching to get back. I've already been able to throw twice, and it's just getting better and better, and it's progressing, and it's been great.
What has been the biggest challenge for you to kind of be a leader on the sidelines? I mean, you're used to making an impact in the box score, in the game, some way, somehow, some shade of during that game. You're making an impact. What have you had to teach yourself, and what has been the hardest part of having to do all of that from the sidelines?
Yeah, I mean, I always want to play. I always want to be in and try to help impact the team, like you said. So being on the sidelines, I'm just trying to help anybody with anything they need. Just talk, try to keep everybody's heads up, because we went on a little bit of a rough patch after Myrtle, and we just needed to keep battling through. I knew we'd be able to make it through, but it was just rough, like some of those games. Like we just needed to stay through and keep going, and we were able to. We were able to pull it off, and now we've came very far. But no, it was one of the toughest things I've done. Just watching. I don't like watching. I'd much rather be playing.
Have you learned anything about yourself during this process, about who you are and who potentially you could be?
Yes. No, I feel like I became more resilient through it all. I mean, just being able to keep my head on straight and know that when I come back, I need to be ready. So I did as much as I could, as much as I was allowed to be able to stay in shape and keep my arm in shape and everything, to be ready as soon as I could come back, just so I could be able to play and help us. Because I mean, I want to win a conference championship, and I also want to make a run deep in the playoffs, and I needed to be back to help us for both of those things. So.
Dom Conti is asking if there's any way we can transpose your hair onto my head.
Yes, you can have as much of it as you want.
I didn't like it when I had it the first time. I like being involved.
It's all right. When I'm pitching, I don't like it that much because my hat won't stay on. But other than that, it's nice.
I was just going to ask you about that. What is this problem with Boardman players keeping their daggone hats on when they're pitching?
See, I feel like it's more of a hat problem. I mean, we've all told Coach Gabe, we don't think it's us. We think it's the hats. I mean, I have a headband on. When Gavin throws, he has a headband on. Still won't stay on. Yesterday, Griff, his was falling off. I mean, I feel like it's the hats. Like when I'd seen my hat stays on perfectly fine. I mean, I don't know what it is.
I love it, man. I love it, and appreciate you. We've been praying for you, man. When that happened, certainly everybody was concerned about you, and we're so happy you're on the road to recovery, and looking forward to seeing you back in the games real soon, man. Thanks for your time.
Yes, thank you too.
Who are we going to now?
We're going to Anthony Butto.
AB, my dude. This is hot potato all the way. What's up, AB?
How are you?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you?
Couldn't be better.
All right. Do we have hat problems with you too? Does your hat have problems staying on?
Yeah, it does.
You do?
Yeah.
You see, you don't have the flow like Guy does, though. You got the
No,
old
not
school
quite.
baseball cut, not the
Not
hockey
quite.
guy.
Nope.
All right, talk to me about your year so far, man. You've had your ups, you've had your downs. You've been trying to find kind of that humble ground to lay upon, but through it all, you have been such a dog, such a leader. How important is that in your game to just be there for the other guys, no matter what's happening at bat, what's happening in the field? You're constantly leaning on those guys and helping raise them up. What is it about that part of your game that you love?
You know, that's the thing. I think it's more important not about your individual stats or accomplishments. I think it's what you can do for the team and how you can imply yourself to help them win. And to me, that's really what is more important.
Who instilled that in you, dude?
The coaches, really, when they started talking about how the seniors were the leaders of this team and they were going to be the whole season. You know, they're going to ride with us and throughout our ups and downs, like you said. And that's really what's motivated me to become a better teammate and a better player overall.
You've been playing the hot corner, and obviously that is a very humbling position, much like the catcher position. Dude, I saw an absolute laser beam at you last night that you did your best, but there was no chance that you were going to have that thing, because that you needed an oven mitt instead of a baseball glove. Third base, is it one of those positions that you seek out, or is it one you just kind of find yourself in? When everybody's like, well, I'm going to take shortstop and I'm going to take left field. We need a third baseman, and AB steps up.
You know, funny story. I used to play second base back in my glory days, but coach stuck me at third, and, you know, it's stuck with me ever since. I love it over there.
You got a good arm. There's no doubt about that. You got a cannon on that shoulder, man, and you show it off very well. The Butto name is synonymous in Boardman now. Now, ever since I've been doing this at YSN, what legacy do you want to leave from your part of that Butto name? And what do you want people to remember about you when they think about what you leave behind for Boardman baseball?
The big thing is I want my legacy to be, you know, one of those key players, a good kid around here, mainly a role model for the younger kids that are coming up. It starts at BCB too. I try to stay involved with that. My little brothers are down there, and I just hope people can look up to me and remember me as a good kid.
Okay, so people were going to look up to you. There's no doubt about that. But who did you look up to from a Boardman standpoint as you were coming up the ranks? Was there anybody in particular?
My parents really helped me out a lot, and one of my closer teammates, Jason, really helped me out throughout every year, to be honest, especially this year with him going to YSU, and I was training with him all winter, so I definitely look up to him a lot.
All right, so you guys were a little shortchanged earlier in the season. We were part of that when we didn't put you guys on the power rankings, and you proved us wrong. I say it with a smile on my face because you know I love you guys, but you gave me a little bit of grief after that Canfield game. What was it about this team that you had to believe in yourself when others weren't believing in you?
I think it's just that we all stuck together, and, you know, nothing on you guys. We took it personal, and it drove us to become a better team in that instance. And that game really meant a lot for us to beat them.
So you get that win against Canfield. You get that win yesterday against Fitch. You guys get a share of the conference championship, at least, depending on what happens tonight at Fitch. Did you see things going this way? Did you see it going, hey, we might not have a great wins and loss season, but we're still going to compete for the conference championship and get a share of it, and we're going to fight for a state championship, and we're probably going to see that Austintown Fitch team again. Did you see any of it going like this?
I did, and at some point we did hit a rough stretch there, but there's a point in time where we had to kick it in gear and start catching fire, and we did definitely kick it in gear at the perfect time.
All right, last question I have for you, brother. What is in line for AB moving forward after baseball here in Boardman? What are you going to do, and are you excited to do it?
That's a great question, to be honest with you. You know, I've talked to Coach Gabes about going to play college baseball, but I'm still not sure. As of now, I'm lined up to go to YSU, going to business, but I'm very excited to continue on with what I have.
We're excited for you, man. You always got a job here at YSN if you need one, if you want to stay in sports. And certainly Boardman is going to need somebody because I know you guys love me, but I get scared every time I'm around you now because we shortchanged you one time. Best of luck to you, AB, and your teammates. We're so grateful for you guys spending some time with us today. Is there anybody else that wants to pop on?
No, I think that is it.
You're the last guy. The last but not
right.
least, my friend, good luck tonight against Poland. We appreciate you. And hopefully you have an outstanding game and an outstanding tournament moving forward, man. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you having us.
You got it, brother. Be well. There they go. The Boardman Baseball team, AAC Champions, at least a share. Again, last night, a 1-0 victory over Austintown Fitch. And that builds a lot of intrigue into that game tonight. Fitch versus Howland, and there's a lot on the line. And Fitch does not want to let loose of those two big wins over Canfield, and obviously Canfield, a lot of frustration over there. But I got a feeling that's not the end of the Canfield season, and it's just the beginning. And they're going to build off of those losses the same way that we just heard Boardman built off of the adversity they went through in Myrtle Beach, and now they're on a roll. So a lot of good baseball going to be played in the next week or so, as well as softball, and you can catch a lot of it right here on the network. What I need you to do is go to ysnlive.com/live and check out all the games we have for you. We've got games that are postseason bound. Those are going to be pinned to a $9.99 price tag. If you pay for one, you get them all. Okay, you pay for one, you get them all. I think we got 5 games tonight, so that's less than $2 per game, which is not bad when they're asking for $10 at the gate. That'll go directly to the OHSAA. At least here you can help local business and help us at least try to diminish some of the charges that we're facing from the OHSAA. But overall, if I had to pick, and I'm being completely honest, this is not me just kind of lecturing, go support these kids. Go out there and cheer for them. Cheer as loud as you can, and do it, because the spark is something we're going to talk about, because I think in baseball, we've got away from some of this stuff. But get out and support these kids. No matter, they're all local kids. They're all local kids. Support your YSN teams, and support these kids, because you never know, as in Guy Young's story, you just never know when it could be the last time you see them play. Grateful he's coming back, but my goodness, that could have been a hell of a lot worse. So we're so grateful, and the glory to God on that, for being able to allow a guy to have a clear path to recovery. All right, let's get to the Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Visit them on their campus in North Lima, or head over to DickeyElectric.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've heard this all morning long, and I'm not pointing this at a single team. This is a very general statement. We have to respect the game. We have to respect the game of baseball. Everybody always gets on softball because they have the cheers and the songs and stuff like that, and they say that, oh, that should stop at the community ball level. You should never bring that into varsity or junior varsity or any. Listen, I'm a 100% fine with the cheers and the songs, all that stuff. What I'm not okay with is the over chirping. Chirping, people talking in the dugout, I've got no problem with. Zero. Zilch. Because guess what? If you're not good at it, and it's not positive, and it's not, one of two things will happen. It's either they're going to figure out who's saying it, and you're going to get your comeuppance, or a little justice, a little Texas justice, as they say. I've been there. I wore the number 31. I talked behind the plate, and guess what? Sometimes I talk too much, and then sometimes I wore one, and I got a nice bruise between the 3 and the 1 on my uniform. That's baseball. That is policing the game. The sheriff comes in and takes care of it. What we're seeing now is it's beyond, and it's not in one place. This is turning out to be an epidemic. This is chirping. This is talking. If you're a grown adult and you are belittling a 13 to 17, maybe even 18-year-old kid at a baseball game that you've got nothing to do with other than you're a spectator? What is your deal? You need to go back and look at your life choices. If that's who you are and that's your MO, and you're going to start a chirping war with a kid, get lost. That is unbelievable. What kind, like, assess your life choices at that point. Think about that. That's ridiculous. This needs to stop. Kids against kids. You know how that works, right? It's going to be whoever has the best one-liner, and it's going to go here, then here, then here, then here, until a line is crossed. Coaches should be able to get ahead of this. But the problem is we also have parents that are adding gasoline to the fire. That's got to stop. It's got to stop. Let the kids be kids. You should not be compounding on their mistakes. It's just a straight up, that's not even an opinion. That is the way it should be. You should not in any way be adding fuel to that fire. And if you are, shame on you. And I'm nobody that's going to sit there and wag my finger, but this is a problem. This is an absolute problem. Because we're bringing out, instead of just, get him a bucket, he's throwing up. You can live with that. Calling the pitcher degrading names and going at them and, their success and what? It's incredible. But again, not the worst. I can live with that stuff because chances are if the pitcher's on the mound and you're making fun of him and he figures you out, the anonymity in the crowd of the dugout, and he figures out your voice, who said it. Number one, you should be playing. Because if you're not playing, if you're not in the starting lineup, you should probably keep your yapper shut. Because if you're not good enough to be on that field, you're not good enough to talk about it. Period. End of story. You should be taking all that energy that you're putting into your one-liners and trying to go in the cage and get some line drives. Or trying to push yourself a little bit harder. The chirping has got to stop. Bad chirping. There's going to be talk. It's baseball. But some of the stuff, guys, man alive. I live by two rules here. And I learned them pretty early. And I think a lot of you need it. Whatever you're saying, would you say it to your grandmother? And always pretend that the red light is always on. Live your life as if it's being recorded all the time because, ladies and gentlemen, it is. Somebody has a phone or something, and they're probably taping you doing something you don't want to be taped doing. So if you live by those two rules, you should be okay. And if you live by those two rules, the chirping problem should go away pretty quick. That's going to do it for our show. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you to the Boardman girls track team, track and field team, and certainly thank you to the boys baseball team as they prepare for a game today against Poland. Both of them winning the AAC Championships this week. Congratulations to them. What a fantastic season that it's turned out to be for them, and best of luck moving forward into the state playoffs. My name is DJ Yoakley. This has been the YSN Power Hour. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 4, right here on the network. Peace. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network.